Yeah, I know. This was kind of a last minute thing. Oh, hi, Toby. Uh-huh. Always for the attention, Toby. Always for the attention. Now, I know. Last minute, wasn't really planning on doing anything, but something made me change my mind. Yes, it's in the time for another episode of Peckerwood Platters. Woo, woo. Unfortunately, Dustin isn't here. I don't know when Dustin will get here. Nick, how you doing? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. Obviously, you could figure out for the title, For the Love of John, 45 years later. Yep, Taz. Good old Taz. Um, yep, PG, everybody. That's right. And the thing is that I couldn't just not do something. Not. You better not hit my cable, so help me God. What an attention. What an attention kitty whore. You know that? Do you know that? You not try not to show up on here, and then you climb behind the counter. You know what? I wonder. I know I've played you some Beatles music. I know I have. You didn't seem too enthused, exactly. But you didn't hate it either. You really, really didn't. Yeah, Lennon liked animals, as far as I know. Yeah, I don't know if he was a cat lover. Did he ever have cats or dogs, kids? Do you remember that out there in the universe? I don't recall him ever really. I mean, we all know Paul McCartney had Martha the sheepdog, but did John have animals? Maybe, possibly. All right. Anyways, boy, you guys really jumped on the comments. Hang on, I made John Lennon died. Yeah, you're funny, Corporal Cornelius. Yes, you are. Rest in peace. Yeah, Satan. We have Hulka. Yowza, yowza, yowza. Says Mello. Greeley's in the house. Pantazzi. We have a whole bunch. Yeah, no Lennon. No Lennon is alive working at Walmart with Elvis. That's really what it is. Yes, Big Lamb into the house. Rest in peace, Dimebag Daryl as well. Satan, maybe you should do a Pantera episode, Pantera / Damage Plan, because I don't have time to be able to run a Dimebag Daryl, even though he does deserve it. Join the party, Paul. It's at your place anyway. Yeah, no kidding, right? That's all right. But it won't be no party on the patio. My patio is real small here, so there's ZZ Top. Let's see you try that. Yes, hi, Brandon. And yes. John had a dog when he was with Cynthia and Julian, but he had 2 or 3 cats with Yoko. Okay, so see, thank you. He loved his animals. He did. So, I mean, I do have to cut this off probably in about 90 minutes max. Okay. Like I said, total unexpected on all of this. But the thing is that you, the first and second generation Beatle fans, okay, this really hits hard. Now, what do I mean by second gen? After the Beatles breakups, I'd call second gen fans the '70s fans. That kind of got into the Beatles and the solo stuff in the '70s. All right, like before Lennon's death. That's what I would term second generation fans. And I did. I love the Beatles. I remember for some reason we had to lip sync, and I did lip sync to "I Want to Hold Your Hand" back in the mid '70s. I remember that. Um, my first one of my first 45s was John Lennon's "Mind Games" with the picture sleeve. I remember getting that in '73. I was 6. I love that song. I heard it on the radio. Like I said, if it's not my first 45, it's a toss up between that and Bob Dylan's "Knocking on Heaven's Door" and or Paul Simon's "Love Is Like a Rock." That's what I remember anyway. I have clearer Beatle memories. From like the mid '70s. I do remember seeing in the stores rock and roll music. That kind of chintzy Capitol compilation, in my opinion. But the thing is that I really, I think we all really wish we would have known now what we maybe would have known then, if that makes any sense. Probably doesn't. Yes, countdown to Dick Van Dyke's birthday. I'm telling you, did he used to be? Yes, he did. Isn't it December 11th? Is Dick Van Dyke's birthday December 11th? I hope he makes it. I really want him to, because it's amazing, Fred. Royce, how are you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I do try to catch the Four Horsemen. I saw Michael Nolan's show last night as well. The fact that people are so weird and broke get up every day and still seem to make it work regardless of the circumstances. That's amazing. Turning 100 is just turning 100. You are absolutely right. Green horse race. Royce can't talk today. He's in a Bad Bunny music video. Oh boy. No, I didn't know anything about that. But so I was I should let you know before I go any further. I just got done reading this, and if you've never read this book, Lennon Revealed by Larry Kane, um, I would seek out library, eBay, Amazon, wherever you can get it reasonably priced. It comes with a DVD, by the way, and the DVD, I'll read it here. It says, final interview with Lennon and McCartney, and what we mean by that is from '68 when they did the New York visit. There's other things on it too. It comes at the back of the book. I kind of have saved the DVD for this week. I'm going to, maybe I'll even watch it tonight after I drop off my son. But this is, I highly recommend this. Larry Kane has done a couple excellent books. Ticket to Ride was the one I remember reading first. I think he's done 3, including this one. I could be wrong. But and it kind of just reminded me, though, that there's the last chapter is pretty much Lennon remembrances from others. I really wish I would have loved to have met John Lennon. I think, and I know this sounds really stupid, but if I would have had a chance, if I lived in New York, if I lived near the Dakota, and let's say I was 13, okay, because that's how old I was when he passed, when he died, when he got brutally. Anyways, here's the thing. I wouldn't have bothered him. I swear to God, I wouldn't have bothered him. But I would have gone to the coffee shop. That's where I would have gone. Because him and Yoko and Sean would go to this coffee shop that was like about 2 blocks away. And I loved coffee at 13. I still do, as you all know. I would have loved to have treated them a table or two away to a round of whatever they were drinking. And over time, I would have loved to have been a occasional acquaintance. God, I would have loved that so much. Just to, not to be total Beatle fanboy, just have conversations. I would love to have picked his brain. He liked picking other people's brains too. He was not stupid. And if I knew the address to the Dakota at that time, I would have wrote. I would have wrote. I wrote George. I wrote Paul. I didn't have an address for Ringo in the early '80s, but I wrote to George and Paul. Commotion in the panel for Royce's show, huh? Dang it. Well, it happens. It happens. And I know maybe you're saying to yourself, well, Paul, why are you so kind of, why are Beatle fans all worked up about this? And I'll say this like I said it before in a way when I brought up the Monkees and how Davy Jones, when he died suddenly, I cried. I bawled. He was the first one to go. And I go, there goes any Monkey reunion. That was the first knee jerk thought. But missing Davy as a person, well, the same thing kind of hit me with John. I was only 13, though, okay? So you kind of have to forgive me. If you guys would have known what I was like in the late 70s, of course I was a nerd. I still am a damn nerd, and I'm proud of being a damn nerd. That happens to be on the VC aisle, the aisle of misfit toys. And if you opened up my junior high locker in 79 and 80 and 81, you would have seen cut up pictures of the Beatles, John Lennon, all of them separately. I got a hold of some Beatle cards. Remember the Beatle cards from 64, 65? I got some in color. I still wish I had those damn Beatle cards. But I had a beautiful one that was taken from an Ed Sullivan show performance of John. And that was as soon as you opened up my locker. You saw that. I remember the Christmas party and the drafting class in 1979 when I was in 7th grade. People were allowed to bring records. At that time, I had the early Beatles, and I also had, was it Sgt. Pepper? I think so. The other kids called me weird, being 12 years old and into Beatle music, because everybody else brought contemporary stuff, and I loved contemporary stuff. I didn't insult their damn music, but I loved the Beatles. That's how, it goes. And yeah, like I said, I didn't know December 8th. I was in bed. I woke up early, in the morning of the 9th. We were getting ready for school, if I remember correctly. I think it was a Tuesday that day. And I was bawling. And I was just sitting here and I'm just like, you know, here's the thing. And I think you guys can agree too. And I'm sorry, I'm really, really yapping on a lot of this. We'll play some stuff too, though, and I'll explain what we're going to play shortly. Beatle fans are worked up over this for the same reason they're worked up over everything. Well, no, now hold on a minute. I'm not really worked up over it. It just makes me sad. And yes, I do take meds. It helps. Sometimes. Look at all, what's that? Look at all the lonely people. I was thinking Eleanor Rigby, though. Ah, I love you, lonely people. Yeah, see. And I remember, for like history class, I oh boy, yeah, jeez, I wanted to, ho ho ho, I wanted to, Hoobs, but my company don't do that anymore. They stopped that. I did it a few years ago. I did it for 3 years. I was Santa Claus. I loved it. Um, yeah, and the thing about being Santa Claus, I got to tell you the truth. Uh, Very few incidences, by the way, of kids whizzing on me. I was pretty proud of that. But I think it only happened once in the 3 years that I remember anyway. Thank God for diapers, right? But I, but the thing is I remember that, they would give me their lists and stuff, but then there'd be the things where they would go off and they would ask me, "Hey, Santa," I go, "What do you want for Christmas?" Ho, ho, ho. And they'd go, "Wow, that's pretty damn cool. Um, what would you like for Christmas?" And I just remember one of them was for my mom and dad to not be angry and be back together because I guess they were going through a divorce. And this kid, I mean, these kids were like, I'll say under 10, okay? Like between 5 and 10. And and I remember maybe it was like a couple people after that year. Another kid came up to me and said, "What'd you like for Christmas?" And the kid went and said that he was wondering if I could, well, bring Grandpa back because Grandpa was far, far away. And when I asked what I meant by far, far away, he pointed up. And I had to tell them that, like, ho, 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 I wish I could for you, but that's not, that Santa doesn't have control over that. Of course, little kids don't understand that. Well, some don't. But when the line died down, Santa had to take 5. I said, I'm taking 5. I'll be back. I'm not going to lie to you. I cried in the restroom. What do you do? You know, kids, most of the kids are very naive and innocent in thought, in process, the belief system, if you will. There's nothing wrong with that. Normally, I don't throw religion, but I'm just going to throw a comparison. Jesus said, to have faith like a little child. Come to him with faith like a little child. In other words, your eyes and ears open, and your heart too. But John, back to John. I'm sorry for derailing for a second. John, like all the rest of the Beatles, I remember reading. I read Hunter Davies' book from '68, and I read Philip Norman's Shout, and I'll tell you this. You know what? I see. I must have missed that because normally I would have watched football, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just went to bed early or something. I don't know. And the thing is that I know none of them were innocent. I never thought of the Beatles as gods. That's not it at all. But the Beatles, for this man and millions of others, it was good time music. Okay? The Beatles and the Monkees and a few other ones, to me, in this man's heart, was good time music, and they made me happy. And all I ever would have wanted to tell John was, thank you for making me happy. Just thank you, because you meant a lot. I said that, for example, to Rick Nielsen of Cheap Trick once, and I told him, I said how him and Cheap Trick got me through high school. He couldn't believe me at first until I spit out the albums and told him. And he said he was touched, and he thanked me. I think Lennon would have done the same thing. Johnny L., how you doing, my good man? How you doing? Good to see everybody here. And here's the thing, right? So the short life thing, 40, what would have happened if the certain tragedy didn't happen? Oh, I think from what I'm hearing, I know that John and Yoko were talking about going to California to be in a protest for garment workers union or something. I could have sworn I remember hearing about that week. The sessions were booked for Ringo's new album, Can't Fight Lightning. That's what it was called at the time. And supposedly they were talking about the secret Beatles get-together. Secret Beatles get-together that nobody would have known about except for the insiders, to film for the end credits of the Long and Winding Road documentary, which may or may not would have been released in 1981, which I think would have definitely been a way different thing than anthology. That's for sure. Yeah, John knew we needed clothes. Look for the Union label. Da 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 da. And this guy here, He always looked for the Union label.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
That's right. Anyways.
What up, peeps? I brought a couple things on based on John. Can't go without.
Ooh, I do not.
Original first
Nor have I
edition.
ever seen a copy of that.
I'll have that.
I had Spaniard.
TV Guide when he died.
God, I remember that. I do remember that.
And then, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Right around the week of Anthology, if I remember correctly, they put that out.
Yeah, that was what it was for, Anthology. Then these are some of the tribute magazines.
Had that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Never saw that one.
Everyone's seen this one. This one's a very famous one. Everyone's seen this one.
Yep. Had that one too. I like that photo. That's a nice shot.
This is a great one too. I love the shot.
Oh, wow. Never saw that one.
What else we got here? Oh, yeah. This one was during the time too.
Yeah.
And
Gang.
Yeah, I have a bunch of like different.
Meet the Beatles again. Oh. Oh yeah. I think I know that particular photo is, if I remember correctly, is before the Annie Leibovitz session for Rolling Stone.
That's what it was.
Where they removed those robes, and that's how you got. I never saw that one either. That's the one thing you can never say, that there wasn't enough Beatle tribute, even to this day.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, Record Collector will make one. Once in a while, Goldmine will make one. Rolling Stone, back when Rolling Stone magazine was decent. Yeah, that's right. Royce Mello brings it. The Lost
That's
Tapes
right.
Discovery of the Beatles.
I mean, I didn't know Sticker Mania or Michael Ruglio or those guys. You know, it's like I got my own little bits.
Yeah.
You know, you can't compete with those guys, man. I mean, damn. But you know, this is still historic. You know, this was when I think Linda was going through her thing. What else we got here? Oh, I have this. It's an original 1965 program.
See, now I had a 66. Yeah, only on Psychoplatters.
I got all these. Look at this. First one right on top.
I'm sorry, hang on. I was oh, there we go. Oh God. You know, I hated that. Fuck the National Enquirer.
Yeah, that's an original National Enquirer. But these are I don't know if I can pull all these out. Let's see. These are all Lennon related. Taking the last picture live. I figured this is why I wanted to come on. I'm glad like that you did come on today, because I had all this stuff. I was like, if you came on, I was gonna definitely pull this stuff out. So, and this is one for George. Believe it or not.
And I have to apologize. I have to apologize, ladies and gentlemen, about that. I guess I'm hypocritical, because I plumb forgot until the day, the 29th of November, okay, about George. And hopefully that just gives me a chance for next year, when it's 25 years from his passing, we will do a George episode. So I'm sorry, everybody. I feel bad about that. So because he deserved a good tribute video.
The day that New York stood still. Ain't that the truth, man? Some of these are kind of falling apart. 500,000 at the Lennon Vigil. Can you believe that?
It's crazy.
Crazy. That's how important John Lennon was to us. You know what I mean? We feel like we lost a family member. You know what I mean? We don't just feel like we lost somebody. We feel like we lost a family member. And again, glad that we're getting to show these because they don't get to see that much. This is all one paper. Trying to find.
Jeez. I
Like just tons of articles. This was all the time when John. No, that's just part of the paper. Here's this one. Oh yeah, this one, the Tribune, Lennon slain.
it just is not right. Okay,
Oh,
it's
it's so
not
good.
right that gentleman who I'm not going to name is still alive, and I am
Yeah,
just like,
and still
I,
goes for parole every time he gets a chance.
I'm sorry, but
But
the fact of the matter is, and I know they
that's
wouldn't have done
that's
it, but
the
the other
full.
three Beatles deserved to do something. They really did. They deserved to do
And
something. It's
then
like you got a brother, and
Tom, I want to
I'm
at
just
least
like,
get those meetings. I have a
oh yeah, yeah,
yeah, two singles and an unopened double fantasy. That's
and that's
sealed. There's a
cool.
little rip in front, but I keep that up there because I look at it every day. I mean, it is my favorite John Lennon record.
Oh wow, hey,
Yeah.
hang on a minute. Sad fact from Richard. My letter was the last one in the Rolling Stone tribute issue, the one with that iconic Annie Leibovitz cover.
Really? Oh wow! I almost feel like pulling it down and getting it open, but it would be a pain just to do that.
That's pretty dang cool, Richard.
But that's where they are up there.
I want to, if it's okay with you, I'm going to play a song or two at least, so that. And the one thing, ladies and gentlemen, since we have almost 40 people here, I thank you for taking some of your time out tonight to help in this tribute of watching this. This is nothing, there's better channels that can do better videos, but
Oh
this
yeah,
is
that's
coming
right. At
from the
least you can't
heart.
compete with Google and Sticker Mania, but at least to bring a little bit of history.
and and
I
and
got something.
Mikey Arugula and Sticker Mania are great channels too.
Absolutely, and they would
Yeah,
even
see,
be impressed a little bit with as much as they got when they see somebody else have a little collection, even like this. They still get a little tingly. It's like
yeah.
history. It really is.
So, due to, I just really don't want to get dinged like the Ozzy episode, but we are going to play a little bit of John, okay? We will, but it's going to be towards the back. I wanted to start out, I wrote some
I
notes
want
really
to send
quick.
you a link on that. If you're gonna play some John, I would love for you to play this. You probably would not get as dinged by the thing I'll send you, but
Well, anyways, we'll start this though. Late 1965, there was a 45 that came out from the Silky, which of course is Gotta Hide Your Love Away, which of course was written by John and Paul. Now it says here, according to the notes, John produced it, but may have had minor musical involvement. Paul's on guitar, George is on tambourine. This is late 1965, so you're one Beatles shy of the Beatles backing pretty much this 45. Um, so I present to you the Silky from late 1965. Why did I? Okay, there we go. 1965.
nice.
Hey, you've got to hide your love away. 1967. John and Paul sing background vocals. We've played this on the show before, but God, I love this song. It's the Rolling Stones. We love you. I tried. It's just like
All right, Paul.
to the
I
almost
came
40
in.
people. Smash the like button. Check your subscriptions. If you feel like it, donate. If not, that's cool too. Now, what did you say, Mello?
I came in on my computer as a second thing.
Okay.
And
Hang on a second.
in the private chat, I put a link to an incredible version of a John Lennon song
All right, hang on a minute.
that somebody did and took all these components, put it together, and made the most incredible version of "Grow Old with Me" that you're ever going to hear. And you shouldn't get dinged for it. I really don't think you will. But nobody will ever hear a version like this. The Beatles should put this out themselves like this. This was supposed to be the fourth
Oop,
song.
hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I didn't put it on mute. Hang on.
Absolutely gorgeous. And that's by a guy named Dave Limbs, and he used AI to help him put it together, obviously, to generate some of the strings and things. But man, what could have
Um,
been possible if the Beatles themselves had put that out like that? That would have been the greatest of all four of the songs in my mind.
yeah, yeah. That I mean, I understand the attitude that they took because
Right.
originally they weren't going to do those songs, and it was like I can't remember if it was Paul or George and went off and said it was like, well, we'll just pretend John's on holiday and we're working, and that's how they were able to mentally be able to do that stuff.
I
And
mean, but then
I know that some people don't really care for the Free as a Bird, Real Love. I'm not a big fan of Now and Then, but I'm still glad they're there. Okay,
yeah,
and it just gives us what maybe things could have been more, But I mean, I would have, I realized, like I said, that I was selfish. That was the only. That wasn't the only reason why I was sad about Lennon, but the first knee jerk thing I said was, "Well, there goes the Beatle reunion." But
yeah, of course,
who knew 15 years later that we would get what we would get. But the thing is that it seemed to me, and especially after reading this book, and there was a couple other
I got
interview
that book.
books.
That's a
Yes,
great book.
yes, and that he was happy. He was happy again. But and
You yours have the
he
CD with it?
yes, and it's a DVD. I'm gonna watch it when I get home.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I meant DVD. It's great. I
Yeah,
have it.
yeah.
And
Um,
Larry
I
King, Larry King does an amazing
yes,
job.
I do like
Amazing
Larry.
book. I
I do
can't. It's
like
one of my
Larry
favorite
King.
Lennon books. Honestly, it really is. I can't recommend enough. And Andre
Yeah.
Gardner does the forward in it. If you look
So
at
the
it,
let's go to the next one that I pulled up from 1968 December. Um, I want to say almost a year to the day, but not quite. If I remember correctly, this was December 10th or December 11th, 1968, when the Rock and Roll Circus was getting filmed.
yeah,
And of course, you get that brief supergroup, which, oh, so help me God, I wish these guys would have put an album out.
yeah, right. Oh, it would
It
have
would
been
have
amazing.
been one of the best in 1969 or 1970. You have John Lennon, Keith Richards, Eric Clapton, and Mitch Mitchell from the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Will you stop with this? You are going to end up. You are going to end up kicking my camera, and then I'm not going to be happy at all, little kitty. I present the Dirty Mac. I think that's a great name. I
I'll tell
do.
you what. I remember when they first released the video because I never saw Rock and Roll Circus, but they released a video in like the early '90s or something of
Yes,
that performance, and I found out.
right. Your
Now
blues.
I sent you another link. If you're talking
Uh,
about collab ups with that Lennon did with people,
uh-huh.
check this one out, dude. Look at this link. If you dare to play this, this is incredible. As incredible as it gets, I think.
I've seen this one. I would get nailed by two different people on that.
Think you would?
Yeah. I know. I literally saw this like this week, actually. Seriously.
Is that
And I'm glad
incredible or
it's
what?
there. I'm glad it's there. What he's
What
trying to
about playing
show,
just a
John Lennon,
musical
Frank
version?
Zappa, the Fillmore, which
What about
I
just
just
playing the song without the video?
maybe another time because like I said,
Oh,
I've got stuff already set up and
oh,
I've
I
got
got you.
about 45 minutes left of the
I got
show
you.
here, and
Right,
then
right, right.
so this next little bit though, and then maybe we'll go back to yapping a little bit as well too. But
That's cool.
so 1970, I think it's just so really strange how he ends up uh, he ends up meeting a lot of people. He always met a lot of people when he was with the Beatles. He met
Right.
a lot of people when he went solo, and
They
and
all wanted to meet him.
that's right. Rock and Roll Circus was something
He
great for
didn't care
sure.
about meeting anybody. They all wanted to meet him.
Yes, yes, and
He
had
was
Jethro Tull
except
with Tony
Elvis.
Iommi.
I think Elvis was the only guy that John Lennon actually went out of, and Chuck Berry were the only two guys I think that he went out of his way to go like purposely meet.
Well, that's pretty good company. I'll tell you that right now. And it's really too bad. I know. Okay, oh boy, it's really kind of too bad that there was not more photos. I'm told there's only like 2 photos, period. And both of
Uh,
them were in the parking lot of Graceland, or no, excuse
oh
me,
yeah, yeah. When they met, yeah,
Palm
yeah.
Springs,
Fans took,
not
stood over
Graceland,
the
Palm
fence
Springs.
and
Yeah,
took photos of them going back to their car. Or no, actually, there was pictures of them arriving, and Elvis is waiting in a crowd of all the Graceland people as the cars are coming in. And then you see them pictures of them getting out. Where there's one picture where Elvis is in one thing, and you see like Ringo or something walking towards them, so they can get the whole scope of it. And then when they were leaving as
yeah.
well,
It's just too bad, though, in a way. Just in a way, I would have loved to have been a fly
crazy.
on the wall for a minute or two when they did the informal jam session.
I think that was the most foolish thing they ever could have did was to not take a photo together or to not like
I don't
record.
understand why it was never done. I don't know if it
Everybody
was the
doesn't understand
Colonel.
that. Even
I
even
highly
them
doubt it
now,
was Brian Epstein. I think it was the Colonel, is what the hell that was all about.
maybe I guess yeah, but
Cur-
even the Paul themselves
Colonel was
wish
a
they had pictures.
jackass. Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
Colonel was a jackass. I mean,
I
let's
would have liked
face
to have
it.
seen a picture of Brian Epstein and the Colonel playing poker in the back. That's what I would have liked to have seen.
That would have been funny, too. That would have been funny. Because I know they like to gamble, those two.
And George joined them too, was like gambling a little bit with them.
Um, but one of the people in the musical universe was Ronnie Hawkins, who, of course,
Right.
the Ronnie Hawkins would have a band that would end up becoming the band. But Ronnie
Right.
Hawkins was around since the 50s. Originally came from, believe it, just a couple towns down from me. Fayetteville, Arkansas, if I remember right, is
Wow.
around that area, or at least during his college year, the college years and stuff like that, was Fayetteville. But he grew up in this area, and but for 1970, that him and Lennon for a little bit ended up in each other's universe, so much so that Lennon recorded an intro to the single for Ronnie Hawkins' "Down in the Alley" on Cotillion
Wow.
Records.
I
Now,
didn't know
I'm
that.
not playing the song. I'm only playing the minute 42 where it's like John Lennon long rap, short rap is what it's called. All
Wow.
right. So this is what you would have heard. It's on 45, but you know what? It was not that easy to find back in the 80s. I only heard about this. I never
I don't
heard
even know if
it.
I've ever heard this.
I haven't. This will be the first time for me anyway, and you and a few others.
Yeah, wow, this is interesting.
This is John Lennon here, just muttering about Ronnie Hawkins and how on our last trip to Canada, somehow it was arranged that we stayed at his house. We had a great time. Of course, I knew him from way back on record, 40 days and all that. Well, I didn't know anything about him, but he's turned out to be a great guy. And it just so happened, as it were, that he just made an album. You know, he's about the only person that doesn't try and grease you, as they say. And he played us this album, but he didn't want to play. He was shy,
Maybe.
like most musicians or artists are shy when somebody, I don't like playing my new record to people. I have to do it, but
That's right.
uh, because you have that need. But I hope this isn't too long for promo. Anyway, I was signing these 20 million lithographs, and this album was going on, and I was listening to most of it and still signing until this track came on, Down in the Alley, and it really sort of buzzed me, and it sounded like now and then, and I like that. So let's hear it.
Well, anyways, that's the interview piece. But anyways, that's the interview. That's the interview piece. This next one that I want to play from '71, John Lennon sings vocals on this, and he also does guitar. But we played "Do the Oz" from Bill Elliott, but this time we're going to play "God Save Us," which is
Right.
what from 1971. And it's on that Apple comp that I need to come and get it, the best of Apple records. There's some released, some unreleased on that comp. Search for it. Oops, right. God Save Us from Billy Elliot and the Elastic Oz Band,
That was a good
aka
song.
John Lennon on guitar, production, backing
Wow.
vocals. pretty funky. I'll admit that.
Pretty good. Pretty damn good.
Johnny L's VC weather. Minus 13 degrees Celsius here in St. Thomas, Ontario.
It's cold here. I'll tell you.
Colder than a witch's titty. Speaking of that, that reminds me of when I saw Shannon's. Anyways, it was worth it. I'll just say that. I got to take care of something really quick here. So we're going to go to the next one. This one here, 1972. 72 was a busy year for Lennon. Okay, we already know about, we talked about Frank Zappa, Mothers of Invention. They do the jam there. 72, the one-to-one concerts, which of course had Elephant's Memory as the backing band. I need to end up getting the one-to-one, even if it's just the highlight double disc. I want to get it anyway. But basically, also though, Elephant's Memory did put out an album on Apple Records. John's all over the thing. He produced it. He does background vocals. He does guitar on most of the tracks. Brandon says he'd love to swap places with you, Johnny. And Johnny L., my mother thought it was funny that you thought I was British. Anyways, so I present to you, I took the shortest track off of Elephant Memory's album. I need to find this. I only have the 45 of Liberation Special, which was the opening track, but I decided to go with this track here called Life. Yes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Sorry, James. That's right. Life from Elephant Memories, 1972.
Just goes to show John was a freaking jammer. Mm-hmm. He loved jam.
that album, at least from bits and pieces I've heard of it, is a hell of a lot better than the one they did in I think it was 1969 or 1970 on Buddha Records. They did do
Right.
one for that label. Johnny L, you could also blame it on the cold. That's right, about the lack of hearing. Fave of them is the Mongoose. Okay, that I think is on the Buddha album. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's on Apple. I don't have the Buddha album. I think I've seen one copy of it. So I wanted to interject another John Lennon story, ish per se. So this goes to 1987 or 88. I can't quite honestly remember the year at this point. Maybe some of you better fans would know when Yoko Ono went out to select art galleries in the United States with some of the lithographs of Lennon and Yoko, the Lennon lithograph collection. Um, I ended up taking my first wife, Dawn, rest in peace, with me. We went to Woodfield Mall in Schaumburg, Illinois, one of the biggest malls at the time, one of the biggest indoor malls for us anyway. And she was going to appear there and in Chicago. And I went to the Woodfield, I'm going to say Woodfield Galleries for the sake of the story, because I don't really remember the gallery name. But Yoko was going to appear there. And
Wow.
so I waited around. I did. I brought, in fact, that Woman 45 picture sleeve, I brought that with me to see if I could get Yoko to autograph it. Well, the thing was, is that yes, I did get to briefly see Yoko. I mean, I would say maybe I was about between 5 and 10 feet away from her, but there seemed to be this very big, burly security guard, and that's kind of what scared me,
Yeah.
out of all honesty. But from what I heard, she was she was very accommodating even then, if you were nice. And so maybe I should have just tried and asked, but I did pick up some. I did pick up. They had like a couple in pack like postcards because I didn't want to just sit there and oogle and not buy something. So I did. I bought a. I wish if I could find them. I still have them, I think, in a box. But that was about the closest John Lennon Yoko Ono story I've got. As far as for Beatle people are concerned, I met Sam Leach, which was the Beatles' first manager before Brian Epstein. I met him. He's gone now too. I got his book autographed. I met him. I have a picture. Um, Lawrence Juber, of course, Paul McCartney and Wings. Um, and I guess Yoko. I mean, I even know, like I said, I didn't get to say, hey, I think I might have waved if I remember right, but that was about as far as I got on that.
That,
So, oh, and of
that's
course,
more
Ringo
Beatle
doing
people
the,
than I ever met. I'll tell you.
yeah. Oh, Metro Media. Okay, I'm an idiot. A mongoose, same as Bobby Sherman. Okay. Yeah, see, my mind isn't always so good right now anyway. We
My
had the
my
Union
drummer met
Jack.
George Martin though. He told me
What's
about
that?
that. He got my drummer for my band Imagination.
Yes.
Actually, his friend was working at the Paramount Theater in Asbury Park, and George Martin was making an appearance there. So he allowed him to work as backstage security for the show, and
Uh-huh.
he actually got to meet Sir George Martin because he was doing a speaking tour for his book.
Nice.
So, and at the show, Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora were there,
Uh-huh.
and Southside Johnny was there. A lot of New Jersey,
That's cool.
artists were there, and he actually got to meet all of them as well. But he said George Martin was the nicest, absolute nicest man he's ever met. He's
Wow.
like, he said that he was just so polite, so well spoken, and calm
Jeez.
and gentle the way he spoke. It was like you can't even see the guy ever even getting mad. Like he's just so gentle the way he spoke.
Yeah. Wow. You know, I mean,
Incredible.
some people go off and say that when it comes to the studio magic, the Fab Four, well, I'm like, hold on a minute. You can't forget George Martin or Jeff Emmerich or oh, who the heck was the other guy?
Even Alan
Well,
Parsons. I
Nor
mean, like,
well, yeah, Alan Parsons is the back end of it. Norman Smith, I think, was involved in some of it. But in other words, what I'm saying is the Beatles themselves, George Martin, and your main engineer.
we're a team. It was a team effort,
Yeah,
and there's no doubt
it
about it.
was a big team effort. That's for sure.
And when they did a song, they crafted it together as a team. And that's why you can't, I mean, you could say like fifth Beatle, like honestly, the only fifth Beatle that ever will come to mind will be George Martin. More than
It
Brian
it
Epstein,
would make
more than
sense.
Stuart Sutcliffe, more than Pete Best, more than any other person, Billy Preston. It is George Martin is the fifth Beatle, period. There's no other, you know, quote, that could say that, it's like him.
Very, very much so on that.
Oh, you were mentioning these too.
Hang on. Yes, yes, I had some of the black and whites, but I had color ones too.
That one. I have a
I
couple.
miss that stuff.
I have this one.
Nice. I think they made them in 64 and 65. They
And I
made
have one
cards.
more. I have, is this? Yeah, this one has like a stamped Paul McCartney autograph on it.
Nice.
I wish it was real. But pretty cool. It's again history.
Yep, pretty much. So this next one here, we go to the closest you were going to get for a Beatle reunion. Curse Paul McCartney and his drug visa problems. 1973.
People claim that if I'm the greatest, wasn't I'm the greatest considered almost
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, all right.
So
Sorry
you get that's all right. You get Ringo and George and John. Paul was supposed to have been there. That's the stories that were multiple sourced. If it wasn't for the visa problems, oh, that would have been fun. Just even for one song. But here is one I tripped on, and I haven't heard it, so let's listen to take 3 of that track, shall we?
Yeah, it's what Klaus is on bass, right?
Yes, Klaus is on. There is. You're right.
Oh man,
I think it's on the Lost.
That song.
I think it's on the Lost Lennon tapes that the demo. Now here's one. Here's one. So we moved to 74,
Nice.
and it's not what you think, because I know what you people are jumping, going, Elton John live. You're half right.
No, I was thinking Tootin' the Snore in 74.
You know what? I was going to play a little bit of that, but I'm like, nah.
It does get boring.
Like John said, only Ringo could sing "I Am the Greatest" and get away with it, and that is absolutely right.
I like him singing it better than John's version with John singing it, honestly.
Excuse me. So in 1974, he's on the Caribou album. John is on the Caribou album. And it has nothing to do with Lucy in the Sky. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. He plays tambourine on a hit. Yes, I didn't know this till today. We all learned something. He plays tambourine on one of the coolest 70s songs. The Bitch is Back song about me. The Bitch is Back. What, Toby? Actually, I could say that about Toby too. Except she's not a dog. What do you want, Toby? I know you love me. You know what's really funny is she will come up here. Yes. What? Oh, you just wanted to lick me? Okay. I'll come and listen on YouTube and not have anything going, and she'll think I'm doing the show. And she'll try to climb up like she normally. She's so used to the pattern here.
Right. I also put something else in the private chat. I don't know if it's something that maybe you might want to play.
Let me see.
It is historic about what today is, really.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
It's only 40 seconds.
Yeah, you're right.
And it is this is the last moments of Lennon's life in time of it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you were watching football that night, maybe you heard it this way.
Yeah.
John Smith is on the line, and I don't care what's on the line, Howard. You have got to say what we know in the booth.
Yes. Yes, we have to say it. Remember, this is just a football game, no matter who wins or loses. An unspeakable tragedy confirmed to us by ABC News in New York City. John Lennon, outside of his apartment building on the west side of New York City, the most famous perhaps of all of the Beatles, shot twice in the back, rushed to Roosevelt Hospital, dead on arrival.
That's tough.
Jesus.
Brings it right back too. Brings it right back. That's the way a lot of people
telling you,
heard it.
certain person shouldn't be alive. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'm not saying anything else.
Yeah.
But that felon. All right. 1975. One of the last. Yes, Howard Cosell. People Are Nuts. That almost sounds like a game show through Fox.
Exactly, Lisa.
Right after Name That Stain. But 1975. We've played the one song before on here, but we're not playing that one. One of the last sessions that he pretty much did for somebody else. We're going to play the other David Bowie track off of the album Young Americans.
Yeah, great.
David Bowie did a cover version of Across the Universe, and John is on guitar and background vocals to this. Yeah. David Bowie album Young Americans, his cover of Across the Universe with John on backing vocals and guitar.
Fiona Apple's the only one that really covered it and actually released it. But other people have played it in concert. You know, I think Hart might have did it, and Sheryl Crow, I think, did a version.
I remember coming when I was maybe about 11 or 12. I remember coming across that K-Tel, it was Ronco, Do It Now album with the original version of Across the Universe, which I really liked. I liked that version, and I liked the Let It Be version, and I don't know, it's just beautiful stuff all the way around. We've got one song left in the queue. We're almost hitting the 90-minute mark. I've had some fantastic people here. We had, I think, over 40 people at one point.
It's been a great show. It's been a great tribute to John. I'm glad I got to show some stuff.
Thank you. I'm glad you did.
Thank you so much for having me on here. I really
and like I said, get this Lennon Revealed or any other John Lennon book. Don't get that Albert Goldman piece of trash.
No, it's my favorite. That is my favorite John Lennon biography. Yeah. It's really one of the most interesting ones I've come across.
Now, this video, this last one, I had to do this only because, like I said, this was my first John Lennon 45 I ever bought. But I love how Yoko, and John and whoever put this together, it makes me smile and it makes me sad at the same time. I present to you Mind Games from 73. But the video, yes, I know I'll get dinged for this, but I'll deal with it later.
Oops,
that's not it. Hang on a minute. There we go.
It's in my top,
I just like it because take a look. It's like part of the day of the life in New York City of this guy. Really? And I love his outfit. I just thought, the whole thing was just great.
I might get a tissue, man, because this brings tears to my eyes. One of the greatest songs ever written in my mind. One of them.
Yeah, I'll tell
you. John Lennon at the Montreal Forum.
Wow.
He was hamming it up on that. Now,
incredible, Johnny.
Now, to be honest, and I was so appreciative. What a generous. Rachel gave me this, and she gave me this. It's an actual photo of John Lennon.
Wow,
nice.
And I'm pretty sure it's at the. She mentioned it was at the Montreal Forum, but I looked it up, and I think it was at the Montreal Forum. I'm pretty sure of it. So.
Wow.
That's beautiful of Rachel to do that.
Yep.
No kidding.
Yep. And she gave me this as well.
I remember reading that. I do, but for the life of me, due to my short-term memory loss, it's like I could probably reread it again and go, "Oh, it's brand new to me." I mean,
Yeah.
That's so cool. Love you, Rachel. That's
I
really
remember
cool.
when they were at the Montreal Forum, but because I lived in Montreal, and but I was way too young to go to that concert back then. I think it was in the early '60s. I think in the Montreal Forum, '65 or something. I'm not sure what it was, but I was like probably 8 or 9 around that time anyway. So I was kind of young to go there. But trust me, if I would have been older, I would have been there. But unfortunately,
okay. If you could pick a concert or two, which ones would you want to be at where he was there?
Oh, come on. That's a hard decision to make.
I'll tell you right now, if I had a choice, it would be the rooftop concert and
Very
being
good.
on the roof. That would be one of them, probably the number one. The second one, I would have to say his bed in, being his when he's doing
man.
Everybody talking about baggage and baggage and baggage and baggage. That's the two moments right there I'd have to be at.
That was in Montreal when he had that.
He'd be on the recording and everything, man. Like,
right,
who would want to miss that?
That was in Montreal when he had that bed-in
That's
thing.
the ultimate John Lennon moment, participation.
The two places I'd want to be is at the rooftop, like you were saying, when they were playing that, and on the Ed Sullivan Show, when they first appeared on the Ed Sullivan Show.
That squeaked almost in. That was like my third.
Okay. Rooftop is number one for me. I think we all seem to pretty much agree on that one. But the other thing, okay, maybe I sound a little goofy on this one. I went different than you guys did. As dumb as it sounds, I would have loved to have spent a couple hours watching him in Hamburg in '62.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Where it was a little more loose, but yet you're seeing the real deal, the kernel of greatness that's about to bloom. Very shortly.
Right when they were, I'll tell you what, the best time to probably see them was after they were almost done with Germany, after doing 8 hours a day, and seeing their last 8-hour day. They were probably on fire, like literally, like that last 8-hour day. They were probably so hopped up on like pills because they knew what was coming. They must have felt like something that like they had to take pills to calm themselves. They were like literally. Recording.
We're going to America, boys. We don't have to do this anymore.
I would have loved to have been there when they recorded Some Other Guy Now. Mama gonna take my love from me. When they did that filming of that, I would have loved to have been there.
Oh, that's crazy. Yes. Late '62, if I remember right. I would have loved to have seen a Peter Gabriel.
I think that was one of his first appearances with him.
I was watching, and damn it, I wish I knew the channel name. But it was within this week, and he was talking about Beatles lost media. There was like 4 different things he talked about, and I'm still into it. But
love the lost media.
Of course, unfortunately, like 2 or 3 of the broadcasts he was talking about, which was from late '62 to early '63, was Peoples and Places, which was a UK show, and only parts of the things have been found. The other parts were probably typically BBC wiped, like some of the Doctor Who episodes. And I'm sitting here, I'm going, somebody's got to have something. There's got to be. These private collectors are not sharing, and they're not telling. It's like there's 1 or 2 people at the most is all they're telling, and they're sworn to secrecy until they die.
I bet somebody has, because they broadcast Carnival Light at a
right, the Pink Floyd, the 24-hour Technicolor Dream.
Somebody could have like literally probably might have a little bootleg or something of Carnival Light, like from the presentation. Thousands of people were there in attendance. I mean, like, But here's the question I got for you. I have a question to pose to you. If you could choose one song to watch John Lennon record in the studio of his whole career, what song would you pick John Lennon to watch him in the studio recording, either his vocals, guitars? For me, it would probably be Watching the Wheels, I think. Even over the Beatles stuff, I'm so enamored with Watching the Wheels that I think that's the one I would want to watch him.
I'd say Imagine would be the one I would want.
Wow, good one.
That would be beautiful. I'm sorry I didn't go solo. Believe it or not, the first thing that came into my head, Beatles Day in the Life.
Very good too. Wow, it's hard to if you could only pick one.
It's tough, but Imagine is a nice choice. The being in the Give Peace a Chance would be fun in that bed in. Just to be in the room singing along, that you don't know at first that your voice is going to get picked up along with everybody else's, but it's just going, all we're saying is give peace a chance. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all, this is the take we have to take out of this, is to give peace a chance, because we know what happens when you don't choose peace and you choose the other, because that's exactly what happened to our universal friend. Yeah, he was a universal friend. Yes, sir.
Feel like we lost somebody.
I bet you when I was watching TV, and like probably millions, and Howie Cosell came on and interrupted a great football game that usually that doesn't happen.
Wow.
He said that John Lennon has been shot. My heart just dropped, like millions of and I bet you the ratings of the football game dropped, and the ratings of the news for John Lennon went up sky high. I tell you,
absolutely did.
But
they made a whole special about that announcement. Just the announcement, made a whole special about it.
Oh,
interviewed Howard Cosell. They interviewed what's his name, Frank. Can't remember his last name. The other guy that was with Howard Cosell.
Gifford.
Frank Gifford. Yeah, Frank Gifford. Right.
But that's a day, and there's 2 days that really got me. Is one when Cronkite was on TV and said that JFK died.
Yeah.
Walter Cronkite, and Howie Cosell saying that John Lennon died. Those are the 2 days that I'll always remember.
It's the same thing. Like we could say about George, how tragic it is for George that we lost George. But the thing about the difference between losing George and losing John was George's was a natural loss. John was an unnatural loss and was robbed from us.
Here's what you're right.
That's what made the difference.
You're right.
Evil took John.
If he went in '99 in Hawaii and got because of the stabbing, that would have been completely different.
Yeah, that would have been like a John, exactly. But he survived that.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, and we've survived this, and we survived with you coming along.
Love you, Paul, man. Thank you again for having me up, brother.
On this magical musical history tour, if you will. See, John is in the room. Yes, John's in the room, everybody. I've got where's my photo here? Over here. The good old days of back then with Pete. Yes.
Is there a likeness? I think. I don't think so.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. Right. You're what John would have looked like at now.
Keep dreaming.
And hit that like button. Hit that like button.
Please hit that like button and subscribe and everything. Johnny, stick around for a minute or two afterwards. Yeah. We're going to show something special. You guys have a good one, and time for a bearded fat man to chew a record. Take care. Thank you for your time.
Psycho's Platters is a Love Peace production.